Thank you to being here today. I'm Jesús Arroyo. I'm the deputy of the CEO of Sevilla FC. I have been working in my club. I born in Seville, so I'm more than happy to be working on my club since 2006. And for me personally, and for my club, it's a great honor, a great pleasure to be here with all of you in this incredible event, in this incredible stage, in this incredible country. So thank you for being here, and thank you to hear us. I would like to start, as we have here, talking about the success of Sevilla FC in the last 20 years. The sporting success of Sevilla FC, it was amazing over the last 20 years. As you can see in the presentation, we have reached 22 finals, and since in the period of 20 years, we have get the qualification for UEFA competition in 19 times, which is absolutely unbelievable for Sevilla FC. In addition of that we have here, we are the record winner of the second World UEFA competition, which is the Europa League. We are the unique club who achieved the record of 7-time titles in this competition. So the success of Sevilla FC in a sporting side is absolutely clear. But we are not here today to talk about sport. We are here today to try to talk about anything else that Sevilla FC is doing for the future, and our vision about how a club has to develop in the football industry. I would like to introduce a very short video where you can see how Sevilla is working on. Sound, please. Maybe we can restart the video with the sound, please. Well, it is a very illustrative video, but without the sound it's not the same, of course. Incredible players played with us as Maradona, you can see there. In 1992, he played with us. Well, the problems of the direct, I can say. I don't know if we can run with the music, with sound, or we continue. I don't understand what did you say. Okay. Well, I would like to say that Sevilla has an incredible tradition with our city as well, which is a very important city in the history of the world. And it is also a special tradition with the Arabic culture. So I fully recommend to all of you that you have the chance to see how important was Seville as a city, our city, in the world. Over the history. As I mentioned to you at the beginning, and despite to the fact that we have not sound today on the video, I would like to talk not about football. I would like to talk about our strategic plan, which are the main pillars that we are focusing on in order to continue growing in our football industry. The third pillar is the globalization, clear for all of the clubs. The second one is the digitalization and datification. How important is the technology and the data for Sevilla FC? The third one is innovation and knowledge. Sevilla has a clear commitment, and I can say also the responsibility to share with some countries, with some clubs, our knowledge in order to try to develop in the future new clubs, new potential clubs in the world. And finally, I would like to share with you one important project of our facilities, which is the project of our new stadium that we have planned to build in our city, in the same place that we running the current one, because the stadium for the future, as we have here today in the panel of Real Madrid and Sener, the future of the stadium is, in our opinion, to be part of the city, to be at the heart of the cities. Let's start with the globalization. The idea is very clear. From Sevilla to the world. Some figures, important figures for us. In terms of social media, how we have grown in the last 12 months. We have an incredible growth. Nowadays, we are in the top 4 of Spain of number of followers in our social media. And we have entered in the top 25 in Europe, which is an incredible achievement for Sevilla FC. And based on this region, how important is Middle East for Sevilla FC? It's also on the presentation, because we have increased 222% the number of followers in Middle East in our social media. And nowadays, Middle East represents the 22% of our database for Sevilla FC. So, incredible growth in social media. This slide is very impressive for me, because we have in the last 12 months, we have the 3rd highest growth in social media in the world. That is amazing, because we only are behind Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. The next property in terms of growth in social media in the world is Sevilla FC. So it represents how important is the globalization and the digitalization and the social media for our club. In terms of globalization, we have focused in different countries. Of course, we would like to be in all the world, but we have to be focused in some important countries. As you can see, in America, we are focused in Mexico, where we have a cultural relationship because the language and the Latin world, and in Brazil, where the football, it's an amazing stage, and everybody talks about football. Then we have in Asia, we are focused in India, where we have been a very solid project with FC Bengaluru, which is our partner. Later on, we can talk about this project. We have interest in China, of course. We have interest in Korea. And as I mentioned at the beginning, the importance of MENA, the Middle East for Sevilla FC, is absolutely key, as we can see in the previous figures. How we plan the globalization? Again, we have to try to identify a very simple idea. We divide our globalization in four topics. First of all, we are creating a specific digital content to the concrete region where we want to be part of. Then, the second topic is to have a fluent relationship with the local media in that region. We want to be very close to the broadcaster who broadcast Sevilla FC in different parts of the world. And of course, as we can hear today at the very beginning presentation, we have to be present. And for us, it's key to have a fluent relationship with partner who wants to activate Sevilla FC in the countries. So we have the experience with one brand, Valvoline, to activate the brand, to activate Sevilla FC in one country such as India. And of course, we are on the way to have a solid partnerships and commercial relationships in every single country, not only with brands, but also with agencies who help us to grow in the market. Digitalization and datification. This is the second pillar that I want to share with you about our strategic plan. 5 years ago, Sevilla has an internal question: how we can continue growing with our competitors. We have in the same league Real, Barça, we have Atlético de Madrid as well. So we have to continue growing, but we have to do something else. The answer was very clear for us. The technology has to be a driver, different one, who help us to grow in the football industry. So we decide to use the technology and data to change our business model. After 5 years, we can say that Sevilla has built our own, and this is key in this intervention, our own technology to solve questions of our business model. So, as my colleague, Chief Data Officer explained yesterday, Sevilla has tried to solve our business questions through the technology. And nowadays, we can say that after 5 years, we have almost 8 own applications, websites, who help us with the technology, with the data, with the machine learning to solve those questions. We start with the technology focused on football. But of course, we thought, because we have to play, that's a problem, that's a matter. So we start with a football technology, but of course, we wanted to apply to the business as well. I try to identify now, very briefly, how the technology solves questions. First of all, I'm going to talk about football, okay? Since 2022, we start with the technology of EI tracking. The idea is very simple. We want to have all the rights provided by the FIFA Solidarity Levy under control. How we can do it? We have the technology, we have the information, we have the rules of RSTP. Let's try to have a technology to have as faster as possible to claim all the rights that we have in front of us. Such technology was delivered in 2022, and as you can see on the slide, we have a commercial agreement with La Liga who provide such service, who commercialize such technology around the world, and there are clubs in different parts of the world who is using Sevilla FC technology for claiming their solidarity levy of FIFA. The second application that we have is EA Radar. Once again, the question is very simple. If we want to identify talent as soon as possible in order to try to recruit it for the club, we need to know as soon as possible something special for those talent. And this application identified to us a young talent achievement in different leagues. For instance, young player, 16 years old player, who has his debut in Croatian league. Such application give us an alert to say, hey, there are a guy who is now 16 years old and nowadays has the debut in the Premier League in Croatia. So give us an alert to use such information to try to have action of scouting as faster as possible. The third one is EA football and EA scouting. Such technology has to put in common the objective data of the players and the subjective evaluation of the players provided by our scout in order to provide a certain kind of recommendations for configure our first squad. So we use clearly the technology for the sporting side of our business. But as I mentioned, it's not only about football, it's also about business. Since 2023, we have a new technology which is called EA ticketing. The idea is very simple. We want to predict when our season ticket holders will not attend to a match in order to say, hello, I think that you are not going to attend the match. I'm going to sell your seat and we share the incomes. It's a simple technology which is now running, and we have increased our ticketing incomes up to a 20% last season. So yes, it's a technology which is now running for Sevilla FC. Then we have two more tools for the club, which is in the process to be complete in 2024. The first one is EA Funds. The idea is to have a holistic knowledge of our funds in order to provide them, to make a suggestion to them, to all business activities that we have inside of the club. And then something which I think is going to be key for the future is the EA sponsoring. The rationale behind EA sponsoring is very similar to the rationale of the EA scouting in terms of recruitment. We want, with this tool, to try to identify as soon as possible which company is interested in Europe and probably interested in Spain, in order to offer the possibility to have a partnership with Sevilla FC before the rest of our competitors. So as you can see, we are developing our own technology also in business platform. The third pillar that I want to share with you today is the innovation and knowledge. As I have mentioned at the beginning, I think that clubs with a huge tradition as Sevilla FC, with an incredible success and sporting merits in the last at least 20 years, we have the responsibility to try to share our information, our knowledge to the rest of the world. And we have a clear commitment to innovate and share our knowledge with the football industry. How we do that? We identify three main pillars where we can say we can help the clubs, the players, and the professionals. Focus on the players. We have our own soccer academy and our players academy, which has a specific program to try to train and to develop the young talent, not only in our sports city, but also on a place, on a foreign country. Then we can announce today that the intention for Sevilla FC is to have a specific team next season, international team, which is going to be composed only by international players. Of course, following the administrative regulation and, of course, following the RSTP a prohibition related to transfer of minors, but this is not a matter of transfer. This is not a matter of football. This is a matter of try to share our experience, our knowledge, playing for an entire season in a Spanish system. So for me, it's a very clear project where we can offer to the industry the possibility to develop the career of the player. But also we are focused on the professionals, and nowadays we have a huge number of training courses for coaches and for professionals where we have the opportunity to exchange our knowledge and our experience. We have received very recently in our sports city different kind of groups from Sweden, from Korea, more than 30 coaches from each package, where the coaches has the opportunity to see first team matches, first team trainings, sessions, and to have the knowledge directly from the bottom of our academy up to the level of the first team. And also we have a clear commitment with the universities to try to offer this knowledge not only on-site in Seville, but also away, and not only on a presence format, but also on an online format. And finally, the third pillar is the federation and clubs. And the idea is very simple. And yesterday we had a very huge, a very productive interaction with a Middle East Federation, where we explain how important is this project for Sevilla FC. Because we are trying to find a sporting alliance and football consulting where between clubs or through federation, we can share the knowledge to the specific region. As an example, as I mentioned to you at the beginning, we nowadays have an important alliance in India, where we are working with FC Bengaluru. FC Bengaluru is not a Premier League team. It's a second division team based in the city of Bengaluru who wants to grow. And we engage, we find the relationship between both clubs in order to start to talk about how we can, Sevilla, provide you our knowledge, our know-how, in order to improve your quality. This is a very solid agreement that we are more than sure that we can reply in other parts of the world. In that sense, I can say that nowadays we are almost close to sign an agreement with a South Korean club in the same way that FC Bengaluru. As a matter of the innovation, we also would like to share with you that Sevilla FC has a specific website where you can find a training course, a huge number of training courses for those topics that I mentioned at the beginning, players and coaches. So we have a specific website dedicated to this matter. And finally, the last topic that I wanted to share with you in this today is one project that we have a very, let's say, we have a special emotion for the future, because we are trying to build a dream, the dream of the new house of Sevilla FC. As I mentioned at the beginning, we are talking about a new house, but in the same place, because the future is to have this type of big facilities in the city center. And nowadays, Sevilla FC has his house in front of the cathedral, let's say. So that's value. It's incredible for a club and we are not on the way to lose this incredible value. The idea is very simple. We don't want to have a pharaonic stadium. We want to have a house of football, because football, as we can hear today at the stage, football is smell the grass, and football is some romantic aspects. Football is the chance to be in front of the players, to go with your children, to enjoy with your family, because it's passion. So we want to build a new stadium of 55,000 spectators. As I mentioned to you, will be allocated in the same place in Nervión, which is the neighborhood that we have our stadium nowadays, with a budget of between 300 and 350 million euros. Of course, as we have here today, must be open all the year. We cannot be only focused on the football matches. With a 10% of hospitality, we are working with the, we try to find the proper hospitality service in order to attract companies to enjoy the experience of a football family. And we would like to build this stadium between 2026 and 2028. That means 2 years for building this stadium. Finally, I would like to ask to the organization, we can share the video of the stadium with sound. Perfect. Go ahead, please.
Our history, our essence, where we have experienced unique moments. And this will be our new stadium, our new home, which will continue to beat with the same heart as the Sanchez Pizjuan, in the heart of Nervión, with our essence, open to our city, and joining with our neighborhood. A new Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan, at the forefront of the best stadiums in the world. Completely covered with one-of-a-kind stand in Spain, where the echoes of our passion will resound even more. A new Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan, faithful to its history, faithful to the spirit of the Bombonera, faithful to the city of Sevilla. A new stadium to live new, unique moments with our fans. This is the new Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan, a new home for all Sevillistas.
So I have mentioned this is an incredible project that we have in front of us, and we wanted to share with all of you today. I finish. Thank you very much for your attention, and enjoy the rest of the World Football Summit. Thank you. The first video? Okay, let's see the first video.
This is the stadium, the colors, the crest. Sometimes people ask me what it's like to be a Sevilla fan. And I don't even know where to start.
Is it the pride of being a club with more than 130 years of history?
Is it to carry the name of your city across Europe?
And the wall.
Maybe it's the drive to conquer new horizons.
Or perhaps it's being the first to win 7 Europa Leagues.
But it's also the leadership of Navas, the elegance of Canute, the pride of Puerto Reyes, the ambition of Sucre, or the talent of Maradona.
Yes, it's all that. But it's also much more. To be a Sevilla fan is believing that you can, then going out and doing it. It's knowing that nothing is going to be given to you, that the future depends on you. It's showing out at a party you weren't invited to.
It's giving everything on the pitch and off it too. It's knowing where you come from and understanding exactly where you're going.
It's having your hair stand on end when you hear thousands of voices singing their hymn at the top of their lungs. I could tell you a lot of things, but to understand it, you have to live it.